The views and opinions of those appearing in this program is not that of Perfect Trust Productions, LLC. Today's adventure will take us to 4800 John Tyler Memorial Highway in Charles City, Virginia. This location that we are en route to was once part of Berkeley Plantation. This structure has a full basement and an attic. Along with the first and second level, it has a total of 4 stories.
We need to find out if there was a fire out here too.
Oh, there were several fires out here.
Yeah, this one's real close.
The historic information we would learn is that this national and state landmark was once used not only as a private residence, but as a post office, telephone exchange, a hospital, a restaurant, a church, and a nursing home. Along with that much history, you can assure that paranormal activity has been reported as well. And it's because of that that this location has landed on several paranormal websites and on television. Welcome to Edgewood Plantation. I was just telling Vanessa I was getting ready to talk, and I said I have to get this on video.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like both of my knees was just like swooped, like just taken out from underneath me, like just, if that makes any sense.
And it makes perfect sense.
Okay, on the way up here, Vanessa was talking about fires. This sign is outside of the plantation house of Edgewood. I was reading it. During Stewart's ride, the Confederates captured 170 federal prisoners, 200 wagons, 300 horses and mules, and also burned 2 federal warships. She was talking about the fires and all shortly after we crossed the bridge where the water was. Just so you know where you were talking about the fires, and you were talking about that shortly after we crossed the waterway, 2 of their warships were burned. I just got confirmation on the sign over there. Edgewood today is a bed and breakfast and is also used as a wedding venue, offering a total of 8 guest rooms with a bathroom in each. Oh, it also boasts of 10 fireplaces. Now owned by a lovely couple, Dot and Julian, they were more than happy to give us a tour, along with educating us on this location's long history.
They used this was the warmest house in Charles City because it had the 10 fireplaces.
I could
and
imagine.
Major Drury was very, very rich, and he bought this house to keep his wife warm. Nobody had anything to heat. But when you got 10 fireplaces,
You have heat.
You have heat.
you have heat. Yeah.
Plenty of wood resources right across the street, too.
I know.
Oh, that tree.
I know. Isn't that just gorgeous?
Oh, my heavens.
Now, I must ask, what is the story behind this mirror? Because that is A huge
That is,
mirror.
it is.
Julian got it. He got this and he got that. His boss told him. And this man had to release his rental on the house, on that property he had his stored in. And he had to get it by a certain time. So he told, Julian's boss told him, he says, go look at it. And he says, oh, I can't buy it. He said, Julian, don't worry about it. Go look at it. The man's got to get it out of the house or he's going to lose money.
Mm-hmm.
So he goes down there and see, this is 12 foot tall.
Mm-hmm.
And this is big and 400 pounds.
Yeah.
Good night.
I was wondering.
Nobody bought it. They couldn't buy it. That was too tall and that was too heavy. We got them for nothing.
Oh, wow. It was at this point that we began to learn some of the other significant history of Edgewood. Dot was getting ready to show us something that was discovered in this home when they bought it. A valuable clue to what this structure was once used for. That is so neat.
So awesome. That's history.
That is
and
history.
That was long and short rings. No, like
Wow.
No, you don't know.
It was long and short rings. And these people had to have money to have.
To have, yeah, absolutely.
And the phone piece was right here.
Oh, that is
Wow.
so neat.
Isn't that neat?
That is so cool.
It was a knock on the door.
Mm-hmm.
And I go to the door. Where is it? And these two guys.
Oh.
And they got off the horse and tied it up at the post, this post.
Oh,
And they're at my door. Knocked on the door, and he looked at me. And he says, "Are you?
Cool.
Who did he call me?" He says, "Are you Mrs. Rowland?" I said, "Rowland." I said, "The Rowlands lived here in 1800s, fella." I said, 1979.
Oh my goodness.
He says, "Well, let me introduce myself now. I'm Jeff Stewart, and this is my rider." I said, "Oh, really?" I said, "Then I'm Florence Nightingale." He said, "No, we're two students from Weaver College, and we're doing our thesis. And Jeb Stewart's right around McClellan's flank."
Oh.
June the 15th, 1862. This was Jeb Stewart's last stop.
The Rowland family that Dot was referring to would take over the estate in 1849. On it, Richard S. Rowland built this house in 1854. We had no idea when we arrived that we were standing where Stewart's last stop would be.
This was
That
really
is so
something.
neat.
And
That is
they
amazing.
dressed all up and they explained. I didn't know he went around.
See, knowing me, I'd have been like, I beg your pardon.
Come again. Robin E. Lee and Jeb Stewart were like this.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a lot going on Berkeley.
Right.
A lot.
Right, Bart, yes.
40,000 men.
It's unreal. It really is. It's unreal how much has happened. I mean, when I tell people, when you do the breakdown and realize that 80% of battles in the Civil War happened in Virginia alone, that doesn't include the scrimmages that we don't even know about. You know. Dot had to step away for a moment as she had someone to come in who wanted to make reservations. She smiled at us and said for us to make ourselves at home and feel free to keep looking around.
Oh, God.
Are you okay? What
We'll see
happened?
Why?
Okay. Oh my word. Okay, I get it. I'm so glad we already know that's there. 'Cause wow. Okay.
That scared the bejesus out of me. Yeah, that was unexpected.
Yeah. After having a near heart attack, we regrouped and continued on. We couldn't help but admire all of the holiday decorations. Your friend here startled us.
She scared the dickens out of me.
This man loves this house. Last year he had Halloween. Now I'm not into Halloween. I'm not into ghosts because everybody wants to hear the story of the ghost.
Mm-hmm.
I said, the ghost hadn't bothered me.
Well, I have to be honest with you. If we see something, yay. If we don't,
We're okay.
Yay.
The paranormal does not bother us.
It doesn't. But
No.
sometimes I'm here by myself.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what people are gonna do.
No.
And so I put her here. So
It works.
and it works. It even scared my grandson. And he's 22 and about 300. Big guy,
Oh my
big
goodness.
boy. And he called me from Deltaville and he said, Mama, Grandma, this is in the living room.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I rounded that corner and I was like,
She jumped back and I was like, are you okay? She's like, you'll see. And I come around the corner. I said, oh my goodness.
I mean, she has a slight pallor to her skin tone, you know?
I love that. And the sleigh and everything. I've never seen a tree done like that before. That
It's
is
absolutely beautiful.
very unique. I love that.
Oh, and here's two of the fireplaces.
Yeah, there's
Mhm.
the fireplace.
Yep.
So I wonder if at one point,
Huh?
there was a
No.
divide. There wasn't. This was all original.
This
Well,
is
yeah,
all-
because the floor is original.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted equal distribution of
Uh-huh.
heat.
Right.
Heat, yeah.
But this lady came, and that was probably the first person that really came. But I just had those pictures of those boys.
Mm-hmm.
And I opened the door, and she says, I saw a card here. Are you going to do something with this house? I said, I am. She says, you know, that is wonderful. She said, you're going to do it right. Just because this is very visible from the road.
Yes.
And she says, and the way it looks, it doesn't bring prettiness to Route 5. And I said, I know that. I said, but, you know, we bought it, and these people didn't have enough money to finish paying what they needed, and so that's how we got it.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I really would like to come back and see your living room if it's possible. She said, because I've heard so many stories about it, and I can't wrap my head around it. I think if I see it, I'd understand it. And I said, sure. I said, you can come on in now. So because this room was empty, and I'm working with some stuff all over me. And she comes in this living room. She puts her hand on her face like this. She says, oh my God. She says, thank you. She says, now I understand. I said, understand what? Because nobody's told me anything. I understand what? She said, I never could understand how come they used this room as a church during the Civil War.
Oh.
So this house is pre-Civil War. I said,
Holy,
what?
that's going, right?
Yeah.
Holy
I said, what?
moly.
I said, you can't.
Wow.
And she said, and that is an old mill. That's 1725, built by the sign of Declaration of Independence, Benjamin Harrison. I didn't know any of this land was mine. I didn't know that was mine. I didn't know how many floors
Oh
this
my
was.
goodness.
That is 4 stories too. Basement, first floor, second floor, third floor.
You heard her correctly. That mill was built in the 1700s when this property was part of Berkeley Plantation. It was built by Benjamin Harrison V. He was a planter, merchant, and a politician who served as a legislator in colonial Virginia. He's possibly most known for his being a signature on the Declaration of Independence. Grist mills, which are used to grind grain into flour, were typically powered by water wheels. By the 1840s, they were common in the United States. We noticed this beautiful piano sitting in the corner. Curious, I decided to research the maker of it. Light, Newton and Bradbury was the name on the front of it. Bradbury was with this company from 1854 to 1863. That is a time span of 9 years. So if we date this piano by the latest year, 1863, that will make it 159 years old in 2022. Taking into account, the United States will be 246 years old in 2022. This find was impressive. On top of the piano, we also noticed a painting and a magazine with a cover that matched it. The title of this painting, as it was discovered, was called The Daughters of Edward Darley Boyd. I discovered the self-portrait of the artist, John Singer Sargent. Dot decided to take us upstairs to continue the tour. She wanted to show us some of their most popular rooms. The artifacts were fascinating. So were the rooms and the stories she was about to share.
Light in this room.
I know. The natural light is absolutely gorgeous.
I absolutely love
This
this.
is Lizzie's room. And, I had 4 boys. And it's around Christmas time. And I told one of my boys, see, none of them knew there was a haunted house. Nobody knew all that. 'Cause I didn't want to scare them. And the older boys scared the younger ones.
Of
and
course.
vice versa.
Of course.
So I said, Cameron, will you help me watch nobody took care of anything. I said, and when the girls were here, but when they were moving out, I asked them, I said, have you seen Lizzie? And she says, no. I said, have you seen the etching in the window? No. And they've been here for years. And I said, oh, okay. I said, that's a bunch of bull. So I didn't say that to them. And so Kevin was up here, and I was up here doing something. And Kevin screamed, Mama, Mama, who's Lizzie Rowland? I said, oh, my God.
Oh,
my
no.
goodness.
Oh, my God, she's here.
Oh, no.
I didn't go right to him because I knew it would be excited and want an explanation. And I said, I just come in here. And I couldn't believe it because nobody had seen it. And when a man gave a woman a diamond back then, with cut glass, it was real.
Oh my goodness.
Lizzie Rowland. She
Can you
did
get a
it
good
with her
picture?
diamond.
Wow.
Following poem can be found on edgewoodplantation.com. Once upon a yesterday, a young girl gave her heart away to a boy from down the road, perhaps from the plantation Berkeley, I've been told. Her name was Elizabeth Rowland, and it was her mother's too. So they called her Lizzie for short. Her heart was of the truest sort. When the Civil War broke out, her lover heard the rebel shout. He knew to war he had to go, but oh, how Lizzie loved him so. She went to her window every day, awaiting his return, they say, looking out at each changing season, finding no rhyme, finding no reason. In 1870, she passed away on a cold February day. At the age of 47, she gave her soul upon to heaven. So many tears by her were shed of a broken heart, they found her dead. The legend says you can see her still, that her ghost wanders Edgewood, and always will, looking for the love who did not return, and of his fate she never learned. But she left something behind, a moment frozen in time. etched upon the window pane. To this day, it bears her name.
Take that off me. Put it on her. This is story time.
Okay, it's story time.
This, I was out on the front porch, and this was about a month ago. And a man's coming up the driveway this way with his bicycle, and his wife was behind him. And he comes up, and he comes right in front of my door, right there at the porch. And he says, "Are you the lady of the house?" I said, "I am." But I don't know who he is. And I said, "But my husband's here somewhere." I wanted him to know it was a man on the porch, on the premises. And he says, puts his hands on the hips. He says, "I've heard a lot about this house." And he said, "Is it any way that I can see the inside?" I said, "Sure." Well, the man didn't look like a bum. He was just a nice man. Tall, good-looking thing. Not a bad thing at all.
I ain't mad at you.
Right?
So I brought him in, and he stands at the door. And the door is shut, and he's just like, where'd you get all this? I said, "Well, I didn't steal it."
Might have felt like it at times.
I said, "Well, if you got a house like this, you get the right stuff to go with it. If you got a modern house, you get modern things. And I wanted this to be the real thing." And I said, it hasn't been easy. And I said, "But I really like it in Charles City." And he said, he just stopped for a few minutes. He says, "I've got a surprise for you." And I said, "What?" And he said, "Well, first of all, I've got to introduce myself." Tall man. About 6'3", something like that.
Ooh.
Stock.
Yeah.
Puts his hand out. He looks at me. He says, "I'm Jeb Stewart." I said, "Oh my gosh, you alive?"
I love it.
Died laughing. No, he's Dr. Jeb Stewart, the man that came up. And he said, "I've got other brothers, but they don't care about this. Dad's gone. They got other interest. And we've got some nice stuff. And I won't give it to the boys because I know they won't care for it." He said, "But I bet you will."
So was he relation?
Huh?
Was he relation?
Oh, yeah. I mean, Jeb Stewart is dead.
Yes.
Right.
But he was one of the sons.
Oh,
Dr.
my
Jeb Stewart.
goodness.
Oh,
The others were 4 more. So they're all boys.
Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
wow.
And he said, "I'm going to bring you something." Well, I don't know what he's going to bring me. And I said, "You don't have to do that." He says, "You let me in and I'm going to bring you something." I said, he said, "It's going to take a while." I said, Don't do that. You've got a business too." He said, "I got some time." He said, I'll be back." I said, "Okay." So I didn't think any more about it. 2 weeks went by. Here he comes. Open the door. He doesn't know I got a Jeb Stewart's room. I didn't tell him anything about Jeb Stewart's room at all. Because I didn't know who he was, so he's telling me more things. I mean, he's talking to me more than I'm talking to him. So I said, "I got something for you." And I said, "I got something for you." And I said, "You follow me." So, come on.
I love the floors.
I know.
Jeb Stewart's room. Oh my God! And that's what he gave me.
I gotta say,
No.
you saw
That's what he gave
you saw me looking at it,
Yeah.
right? I looked right at it.
Jeb, no disrespect, but damn.
Hell yeah!
You're a good looking man. I'll take this room.
The policeman, they come by here to see this, to see if Lizzie's in the window.
For anyone who appreciates historical value, we strongly advise visiting Edgewood Plantation. You can go to edgewoodplantation.com and make reservations. Tell them that Gwen and Vanessa sent you. Oh, remember this earlier, how I felt like something was swooping up underneath my knees? Dot presented us with this artifact that she had. Needless to say, Vanessa and I just looked at each other like, aha, this was it. We don't want to forget the attic area. There's something particularly interesting up here. There's a crawl space above one of the beds in the attic. This crawl space was used for the Confederates to spy on the Union who were camping in neighboring Berkeley Plantation. If you look carefully, you can still see the handprints. The basement was fully done as well. This was absolutely stunning, all of the work that was put into this. Vanessa captured something in this photo. She didn't notice it at the time until we were getting ready to leave. I don't think we were alone. The hospitality is enough in itself for you to want to come and visit Dot and Edgewood Plantation. Tell Julian hello too while you're there. All of the artifacts, the history, the Yore and lore is worth the trip. We were able to locate the direct descendant of General J.E.B. Stuart, the same one that Dot spoke with. Our hopes is to be able to interview him for a future episode. On February 9th, 2022, we took a separate trip, and we stopped at a location that Vanessa was being very drawn to, Westover Church. What we found was remarkable. The final resting place of Lizzie, the same Lizzie from Edgewood Plantation. Also to note, the difference in ages. According to her headstone, she was 42, not 47, as it was said in the poem. This is a friendly reminder. When it comes to lore, there's usually some truth to it. In other parts, maybe not so much. Remember how earlier we told you that there was a discovery about this? This section right here where she was talking about how this room was used as a church? We found documentation that this room was used as a church. And the original Westover church caught fire and was being redone. Mr. Rowland, who was living and owned Edgewood Plantation at the time, had his congregation moved from his church at Westover to his living room until repairs could be made. Also, during this trip to the Westover Church, or as it's also known, Westover Parish, another discovery was made. But you'll have to wait for that one. And what does Jamestown have to do with Edgewood? Stay tuned. Thanks for tuning in for this episode of Yore and Lore. See you on the next one.